So it's day two. Interesting day today. You can probably hear it in my voice. I don't have any kind of, I suppose, reaction skin wise, but I'm definitely feeling like I'm under the weather. I can feel the chemical in my body. Um, that's crazy because it's only two days into the treatment. Definitely energy levels are down. Psychology is good. I'm pretty motivated, but I'm definitely feeling the effects of this. Not on my skin, but just on my kind of day-to-day functioning. A little bit of cognitive fog, not really thinking straight. Really, really tired. It's a weird one. But anyhow, it motivated me to get into my routine. I can't train, I can't physically train because I'm putting this cream on, and if it goes into my eyes, I'm in trouble, so I can't sweat, so I haven't been training. So I've really been looking after nutrition. So when this kind of kicked in and I got this fatigue, I thought straight away, liver, it's trying to flush out the toxins. So I went over to my local Polish shop and I got milk thistle oil. So essentially I'm going to be taking that alongside milk thistle tea, which is essentially really, really good for flushing out your liver. Now that's not only for this. Essentially, if anybody is taking other substances, be alcohol or whatever, I'm not going to ask any questions. If you're putting your liver under pressure, you're going to feel this kind of hangover, kind of lag, and it's really going to affect you physically, and that's going to wear into you psychologically. So your liver really is a fundamental organ that you have to keep clean. If you're putting any sort of chemicals, mine is a chemotherapy cream, yours could be whatever, make sure you look after your liver. Milk thistle is an excellent old school version of basically detoxing your liver, and it gives you a better chance to recover. The fatigue, all that kind of stuff that you feel after a hangover is two things. One, all of your kind of fluids, so your dehydration, all your electrolytes, all your vitamins, all that's gone, but also your liver is under stress. So milk thistle goes a long way. But then I was thinking, okay, so the liver is under a little bit of pressure. What about my digestive system? I'm sure the old stomach bacteria is feeling this as well. God knows what's going on. So I went back over and got some kefir, which is essentially very, very good live bacteria that supports a good digestive system. We all know that we have neurons in the digestive system in our stomach. And how do you know that? Well, you know, when you feel nervous and you want to run, you get that butterfly and you know, that sensation in your stomach where you want to just, I don't know, clear your bowels, get sick, that type of fear. The fight, flight, or freeze response. Cortisol floods the body. You got a bit of adrenaline. Everything kicks in. Your stomach turns, does somersaults. It wants to get rid of any excess weight. So if you have undigested food, that's going. You're going to run. It doesn't want weight. It expends all your energy. That's why you're exhausted. So your stomach is a fundamental part of your well-being as well. So I'm looking after it and I'm trying to get the bacteria up. So you should do the same if you're not feeling so good, and especially psychologically. So then it got me thinking. So I was thinking, okay, so any more old school kind of techniques that I know, kind of holistic techniques rather than getting into kind of medication. So I said, okay, let's go down the rose hip road. This is tea from the Polish shop. Again, Eastern European, it's really good for inflammation. So I'm going to have inflammation. Essentially, my face is going to be an inflamed mess, as if I jumped in a volcano, inflamed. So anything that's going to help me with that information, I'm going to take. So rose hip is definitely on the list. Then we've got omega-3s. Now, regular cod liver oil is great, but krill is a million times better. So krill oil. So I'm going to get all the omegas in, start to feel well. Iron. Not forgetting the old B vitamins. A, C, D, K. Calcium and magnesium. Now that's a really interesting one, right? A bit of zinc there for balance and hormone regulation and stuff like that. So magnesium is a funny one. It's like, you know, the B vitamins and the magnesium, they're always underestimated. I worked in psychiatric units, and in psychiatric units, right, we used to have people who had a brain injury, acquired brain injury called Korsakoff syndrome. It's essentially a depletion of vitamin B1, thiamine. And essentially when an alcoholic consumes a huge amount of alcohol and puts alcohol over nutrition, the chances are they're going to have a deficiency in thiamine. If they reduce the thiamine levels in their body to a critical amount, they can get a brain injury. It actually affects you neurologically. So these are very, very important vitamins, B vitamins, B3, B6, B12, all related to energy, cognitive function. They're nootropic. In other words, they enhance your cognition. And speaking of nootropics, where are we? Lion's mane. I want to be thinking straight. So if my psychology starts to take a nosedive, I've kind of said to myself, what am I going to do? Like in reality, I have these techniques, but sometimes you just need a little pick me up. You know what I mean? Just a tiny little pick me up. Now, there's no way on earth that I'm going on anxiety medication or depression medication. I just don't need them. And the other thing about it is they're kind of one of these things that you get into this addictive cycle with them. You become dependent on them. And that's not what I'm about. Mine is about kind of mental fortitude and using techniques to overcome the worst case scenario. However, if I do need a little pick me up in the sense that I've had a day where I'm going to be really down and my techniques, I just need something to give a little boost. Here's what I would take. Now, the interesting thing about St. John's wort is that it used to be just a remedy that was available over the counter in Ireland, but we have a Pharmaceutical Drugs Act, which basically says that if a remedy actually has a effect, then it has to be prescribed. So you're going to have to get that prescribed. But you know, the good thing is it's a natural, holistic herb that you can use, and people have been using for centuries to kind of just put a pep in your step when you're feeling that anxious or depressed. You have to get it on a prescription because it has been proven to have a positive effect. Now that's better than most of the pharmaceutical drugs that are given you for anxiety and depression. There's one other thing. I forgot to say this. This is a great thing. If you're ever near one of the Polish shops or Lithuanian shops, see this? Magnesium water. Now let me tell you about magnesium. Do you remember I was talking about the thiamine and the alcoholics with the Korsakoff syndrome and the brain injury and all the neurological deficits you get from thiamine deficiency? Well, here's one for you. Magnesium deficiency is a deficiency that you can get from taking certain chemicals. For example, if you smoke cannabis, the chances are you're fairly low in magnesium. And that might give you symptoms, low magnesium, deficiencies. That's going to give you anxiety. It's going to stop you being able to sleep. You're going to get jitters. You're going to have mood swings. What else is there? Oh, you're going to look for a solution to all that. And guess what that is? It's going to be weed. You're going to smoke cannabis. And then that's going to create a deficiency, which creates anxiety, not able to sleep, little twitches, body tremors, nervousness, mood swings. Oh, and you see the cycles? And there's loads of them in our lives. And I'm going to talk about these as we go along. So magnesium is a great thing. And you know what? This is the mad thing. You can get it out of Epsom salt. So when you go to the sea and you jump in, you hear all these guys jumping in, there's two things. One, obviously the cold and the stimulation and all that kind of stuff. But the other thing is it's full of magnesium. So you remember this. If you jump in the sea and come out, what do you feel like? You feel amazing. You're getting the cold and you're getting the magnesium. So these are things that I'm going to be using just to pep my mood up when it goes down, because I know inevitably the storm is coming. This hasn't even started. I'm literally 2 days in and I'm feeling fatigue. There's no inflammation. My head has not fallen off yet. And I'm just getting ready. So that's this. That's today. Day 2. Update. I'll see you tomorrow.